We've all been there. You're hungry, you grab your phone, tap a few buttons on an app, and maybe half an hour later, a hot pizza shows up at your door. It feels so simple, right? But what actually happens in that 30 minutes? What are the hidden systems, the checklist, the protocols that turn your order into a real meal? Well, today, we're going behind the counter. We've got our hands on some internal documents from a real restaurant, Tank's Pizza, and we're going to break down the anatomy of a pizza order. Okay, let's start with this. This one line tucked away at the bottom of a daily kitchen checklist. It's more than just a reminder to clean up. This is the entire philosophy of a professional kitchen, right here. It tells you that the whole process doesn't start when you place your order. Nope, it starts hours earlier with this deep culture of prep and teamwork. Because in a crazy busy kitchen, if one person messes up their prep, it creates a domino effect that can bring everything to a grinding halt. It's all designed to make the next person's job go smoothly. So how do they actually do it? How do they set that next shift up for success? Well, it all comes down to the art of preparation. And believe me, it is a meticulous process that happens way before the first order ever hits the printer. I mean, just look at the level of detail here. This isn't just some vague get ready for work note. This is a highly structured step-by-step procedure for just one station, the window or expo, which is kind of like the final checkpoint before the food goes out. You see things like stocking all the box sizes, refilling sauces, and portioning out every single product. And checkout number 4, product rotated first in, first out. That's classic kitchen code for using the older stuff first to keep everything fresh. This isn't just busy work. This kind of rigid structure is what lets the kitchen move at lightning speed when the dinner rush hits. But here's the thing, that checklist is just one system the employees have to follow. There's this whole other world running right alongside it. On one hand, you have the down and dirty reality of the kitchen checklist, all about the physical tasks of making food, and on the other hand, you have the formal corporate language of the employee handbook. This governs the legal stuff, the professional relationship with a company. It's a totally different, but just as important part of how the whole place is structured.
Okay, so all the prep work is done, the restaurant is open, and the kitchen shifts from preparation to performance. An order comes in, a ticket prints out, and that little piece of paper triggers this perfectly timed sequence of actions across all the different stations. It really is like a coordinated dance, and every single step is guided by strict procedure.
So, how is this dance choreographed? Well, if you look at the checklists for two of the most important stations, the window and the prep table, you start to see the secret. Look at how they mirror each other. The window station has to verify the ticket's accuracy. The prep table has to acknowledge any changes. Both lists explicitly say open communication is key. Think of it like this. The window is the command center, making sure the order is right. The prep station is the assembly line, building that order. They're two separate parts, but they are completely 100% dependent on each other to work. So how does your abstract order for one personal pizza actually become a physical thing? It all starts with precision. That ticket isn't a suggestion. It is a direct command to use exactly 7 ounces of dough. This one number, pulled straight from the official recipe book, is the very first step in making sure the pizza you get today is exactly the same as the one you get next month.
And here it is, the full blueprint. 7 ounces of dough, 2 ounces of sauce, 8 ounces of mozzarella. It's a simple, precise formula that guarantees consistency. But making sure every pizza is the same, that's one challenge. Making sure every pizza is safe, well, that introduces a whole new level of hidden complexity.
Because cooking, really, isn't just about mixing some ingredients and turning on the oven. Behind the scenes, it's a constant battle against invisible threats, biological, chemical, and physical risks that have to be managed with scientific precision. And that battle is managed by a system called HACCP. Now, that sounds complicated, but think of it as the official science-based rulebook for the whole kitchen. It's a system designed to look at every single step of the process, from the moment a truck delivers cheese to the moment a pizza comes out of the oven, and identify any point where a hazard could pop up and then put a strict control in place to stop it.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. The HACCP plan is designed to control for some truly serious biological hazards. We're talking about bacteria and viruses you've definitely heard of, like Salmonella, E. coli, and norovirus. These are the invisible enemies that every single procedure, from washing your hands to cooking the food, is designed to defeat.
So how do you fight an invisible enemy? With data, and a thermometer and a clock.
This table shows what are called critical control points. These aren't just suggestions. They are the scientifically proven minimum temperatures and times you need to kill those specific germs we just saw. So cooking ground beef to over 165 degrees isn't just about making it taste right, it's a critical safety step.
But the risks go way beyond biology. The safety system also has to think about physical hazards, like a tiny metal shaving from a can or a piece of glass, and chemical hazards, like sanitizer accidentally getting into the food. The HACP plan creates procedures for everything, from how cleaning supplies are stored to how you handle an undeclared allergen.
So we've seen the checklists, the recipes, the really complex safety plans. But, these systems don't run themselves. So let's zoom out one last time and look at the human and organizational structures that make this whole thing possible.
It's a pretty big question, right? You've got all these intricate systems for preparation, for execution, and for safety. But who's pulling all the strings? Who is ultimately responsible for making sure these rules are actually followed, day in and day out?
Well, according to the official HACCP plan, the answer is surprisingly simple. When you look at the responsibility chart, you see one name over and over again. Bruce Francis. He's listed as the responsible person for almost everything. Updating the food safety plan, managing suppliers, training employees, pest control, even handling customer complaints. It really shows you the immense pressure and the huge scope of responsibility that falls on restaurant management.
And this is the environment where all this high-pressure work is happening. The employee handbook makes it clear that employment is at will. In simple terms, that means that for any lawful reason, an employee can be let go at any time. It's a really critical piece of the human system. This policy creates this high-stakes, kind of precarious environment, where all that immense responsibility we just saw is paired with minimal job security. And that underpins every single demanding task in that kitchen.
So in the end, the entire system of making a pizza, from the first prep checklist to the final safety protocol, is actually built on an even bigger foundation of legal and ethical rules. The employee handbook lays out everything from equal opportunity employment and safety standards to immigration law compliance. These aren't just HR policies, they are the absolute bedrock that allows the whole complex operation to even exist in the first place.
From a simple checklist to a complex food safety plan, from a 7-ounce ball of dough all the way up to federal employment law. The journey of a single pizza is guided by this dense web of invisible systems. So the next time you tap that order button, just think for a second about that coordinated dance of communication, precision, and science that's happening, all to get that box to your door.